Monday, 20th of July, just wrote the paper response to John Bloke's a double slit solution that he's proposing, and his portal model that he's building. Amazing, absolutely fantastic, spot on. All I'm doing is supplying the elastic plenum, the laminar substrate. What is it made from? So John Bloke describes it so perfectly, the surface, bilaminar, stable surface, mathematically described. Okay? But when you carry his work down to its foundation, you find he's got conservation of current there. Okay, and everyone's got one. Everyone's got a placeholder. They're reverse engineering placeholders. You have to have them. You carry them forward with you, and you build up this wonderful, true mathematics description of the model of the surface of the cosmic microwave background, and of a photon, and of the time particle, and of the elastic of the planet. It's all the same structure, rearranged as rigid or elastic bodies. Fantastic. And so all I supply is, what is it made from? It's made from water and carbon, made from fractured geometry of the kites, the 6 kites that make up a hexagon. You split them into kites, you arrange them in an ordered pattern, and that's the second squared surface. Perfect compression, but each of those compression, when it's compressed, it creates a glazing. It actually glazes the surface for an instant, unmeasurable instant is created. The glazing shatters into the D6 kites. Real things, created from the force of the geometry of the kites around them. Each of those contact patches has a different quality and property, and it forces a response, and the response is orthogonal. And it pushes water, so pressure, meniscus, a boundary is created. The force actually creates a surface that exists in real, and that's water. So that surface, straight line, wants to be a sphere. So as soon as it's released, it becomes a sphere, it becomes water molecule, teeny water particle, if you like. It's the same thing, same object. And so there's the creation, because that is a twist. There's a twist in the elastic plenum itself that exists, that creates the water and the carbon response. The carbon response builds up of oil. So you have water and oil, the two auxetic materials, fluids that exist as opposites of each other, oil and water. And so the diagonal forms the water that runs away from the compression point. Wherever it breaks, the contact patch will break to a point. From there will break the line orthogonal to the compression line of water, which will then be elastic, but have a coating of oil of color. The spectrum of color creates the meniscus of oil. Straight line. And then you've got the same shapes rearrange themselves in the Einstein tiling. Aperiodic, with some left-handed tiles, mainly right-handed tiles. The hats rearranged geometrically, so then the force is constructed in a real object, because that carbon, the oil, when you're trying to compress it, has a compressive strength of auxetic stretching. The bilaminar surface is made from oil and water. And that's a photon, and that's the world, and that's the cosmos. So when you take the higher perspective, you can stand outside the cosmos, look at it, and see the D6 surface, and see the pulse, and measure the anisotropy, the pulse that we see there of temperature. What creates that pulse of positive temperature? The work that's done at the center of growth, all described by Paul's rule. Yeah, and the computation stuff there, linking into all the quantum measurements via Giza's TPC framework. Okay. So this is unity that's been arrived at by just taking the idea that the conservation of current is a placeholder. It's not conserved, it's created. How? There's the model. So it all just fits together. But all you have to do is take responsibility for yourself and go, okay, I'm gonna choose. God might exist. I'm going to stand outside the cosmos and look at the surface and see the earth at the center. Yes, I can see that. Bloody hell, current is not conserved, it's created. Because the dimensional observer must exist. Active benevolent love is God's observer description. That's all you need. God equals active benevolent love. So you can be God, self-sovereign. Do what they will shall be the whole of the law. But you'll have the honor and the sovereignty of God in your heart. And every other person will carry the same honor code of the samurai. Yeah? Honor is everything in this system. Trust in this place. God is active, benevolent love. You are an active kinesin that exists. So do your job and do active, benevolent love. Simple, simple, simple. The prefrontal cortex work that we found just 2 days ago shows that there's an architecture. A collective mind is assembled from whichever is the main narrative. And so the scalar uncertainty principle is the current narrative. I say certainty principle, pi-tensor, bistable, bilaminar. Yeah, future's begun, let's fucking go. Scalar blindness lifts like that. Life is eternal. What's the secret? You just forgot it. You've just remembered. Get on with your job. I love you. Welcome to the future. Follow the Rebel King. A sigh.